Okay, Randy asks, "Hey, Beau, I love your show. I have a deal in contract that I will be fixing up to BRRRR. The lender I used on my last two deals is not lending right now. I am a little overwhelmed with trying to find competitive terms for the rehab loan. Rates and terms seem to be all over the place. Any guidance on finding the best option? Property is in Fresno, California. Thanks."
All right, Randy. So it sounds like you have a track record. So I always start with a couple of questions when I talk to a prospective new borrower. Well, what's your track record? How many flips have you done in the past 2 years? How many rental properties do you own? What's your credit score? If you have an established, experienced track record where you can verify, hey, I've done over 5 deals in the last 2 years, typically you're going to get the best terms. You're going to have lenders fighting for you, right? So now it's really kind of navigating like who offers the best terms. You could go to one lender down the street and they could say, okay, it's going to be 11% and 4 points. You can go to another lender, the same deal, and it could be 10% and 2 points. Really, it's going to vary on the lenders because the pricing is all over the place. But what I can say, if you have good credit and you have track record, 1 to 2%, 9 to 10.5% is where the rates may be. I mean, they fluctuate daily depending on what the market's doing. But I see some people paying 3, 4, 5 points, and sometimes it doesn't really make sense because there's cheaper cost of funds out there. But if it's a unique deal, that's where you might pay more for that particular lender. If there's a reason why a national institutional lender, so there's national funds, right? Like they're the big groups that lend nationally. And then there's the localized hard money funds. The localized hard money funds are usually not as competitive as far as rate and terms compared to the national funds that have hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars. But the localized groups, they can do quicker deals. They might not need as much diligence because they're in the local market. So it really depends. And so you got to compare. But if we're talking about like a national lender, it's competitive out there. You can get really good terms. But what I would recommend is either talk to a person like myself who works with all these big lenders and can give you good guidance. And what I do for a lot of people, whether they book a call with me and they'll tell me the terms they're getting. I can quickly say, hey, that's not a bad deal, or hey, I think you can do a lot better than that. I think we all want somebody that's going to give you an honest, fair look at your deal and say, hey, is this reasonable based on this, the specs of this deal? And that's what I'll put that out there for anybody listening, that I will always be a voice of reason, and I'll say, hey, that's a good deal. You should go with it. Even if I could do it a little bit cheaper, sometimes I still tell you, hey, it's a good deal because you're got to close in a week and it's not realistic to pull the plug with that lender and come with me. But I just want to give people good advice so they can make the best decisions. I appreciate the question, Randy. I know it is frustrating going out there and trying to figure out like what makes the most sense. So I first say, well, what's the term? If it's a 12-month term versus some lenders only offer 6-month terms with extension, always try to find the 12-month, even if you can get it done quicker because you don't want to pay extension fees. What's the rate? Is it Dutch interest? Are you paying on just what's dispersed? Like they're going to fund X amount at purchase and then they're going to hold back X for construction. Are you paying interest on the full loan? Or are you just paying on what's dispersed? You want to know these things. What's the points? What's the fees? What's the interest rate? What are the junk fees? Is there a doc prep fee, a service fee, appraisal fee? You want to know what that all is. Then you can kind of compare what makes the most sense. Because if one lender is saying, well, we can do it a little bit cheaper, but it's a 6-month term, realistically, a lot of deals sometimes go longer and then you end up paying extension fees and so forth. So I know I didn't give you a specific answer because there's not really a specific answer. I just think, realistically, the rates are moving. You want to get a good look at it. I'm happy to take a look at a deal you've gotten, or if you want me to price it out for you, I will do that for you. And then you can go from there and see what's expected. I know with my clients, I would say, our company has to make money. Everybody has to make a little bit of money, but we always try to be competitive and fair with everybody. We usually can beat most other competitors because we don't charge as much as some of them do. They'll always pack on extra points and fees, and we just try to be competitive, right? At the end of the day, we know if we do a good job for you, you'll come back for repeat business, right? And that's how businesses survive, is by having good a good clientele and so forth. So hope that answers your question, but always available to talk and see if there's any opportunities.